Have you ever wondered if the supplements you're taking might be doing more harm than good? Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Vitality, and today we're going to discover which supplements you should avoid if you're over 50. Let's get started. Let's start with a supplement many believe to be essential: calcium. If you think taking high doses of calcium will guarantee strong bones, think again. Recent studies show that overdoing calcium supplements can be more dangerous than beneficial, especially for those over 50. First, let's understand why. Calcium is vital for bone health, that's true. But when consumed in excess, it can accumulate in the arteries instead of the bones. This can lead to arterial calcification, increasing the risk of heart disease. A study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that people who take calcium supplements have a higher likelihood of developing arterial plaques than those who get calcium from their diet alone. Moreover, excess calcium can cause digestive issues like constipation and even kidney stones. The Institute of Medicine in the United States recommends that adults over 50 consume about 1,000 milligrams of calcium per day, preferably through foods like milk, cheese, and green vegetables. So instead of taking pills, try adjusting your diet to get the necessary calcium. And let's be honest, no one wants to deal with heart problems or kidney stones just to try and strengthen their bones, right? Maintaining a balanced and healthy diet is always the best choice. If you really need supplements, consult a doctor to determine the appropriate dosage. So, the lesson here is, don't be fooled by the idea that more calcium means stronger bones. Moderation and balance are the keys to optimal health, especially after 50. And remember, too much of anything, even something good, can become a problem. To sum up, prefer calcium-rich foods and, if necessary, supplement with care and medical guidance. Your bones and your heart will thank you. Now, let's talk about iron, an essential mineral that can become a silent villain if not taken carefully. Iron is crucial for the production of hemoglobin and for transporting oxygen in the body. However, excess iron can be harmful, especially for those over 50. First, excess iron can cause oxidative damage to organs. When the body has more iron than it needs, it can store the excess in the liver, heart, and pancreas, causing damage over time. This can lead to serious conditions like liver cirrhosis, heart disease, and diabetes. The American Journal of Epidemiology published a study showing that high levels of iron are associated with a significant increase in the risk of death from various causes, especially in older men. Additionally, iron supplements can cause gastrointestinal discomfort, such as nausea, vomiting, and constipation. If you've ever had issues with these symptoms, it's best to avoid iron supplements unless absolutely necessary and prescribed by a doctor. And for those who do not have an iron deficiency, taking supplements can be completely unnecessary. Another concern is the interaction of iron with other medications and nutrients. Iron can interfere with the absorption of certain antibiotics and thyroid medications, as well as compete with the absorption of zinc. This means that even if you're taking other important supplements or medications, excess iron can hinder their effectiveness. If you're concerned about your iron levels, the best approach is to get a blood test to determine if you really need supplementation. Often, a diet rich in foods like lean red meat, beans, lentils, and dark leafy greens can provide all the iron you need without the risks associated with supplements. In summary, be cautious with iron. While it is essential for health, excess can bring more harm than good. Are you enjoying the video? Like and subscribe to the channel for more essential tips. Now let's explore the world of soy supplements. Many believe soy is a superfood, full of health benefits, but is that true for everyone, especially those over 50? Let's find out. Soy supplements are popular because they contain isoflavones, which are phytoestrogens that can mimic estrogen in the body. This has led many to believe that soy can help alleviate menopause symptoms and protect against certain diseases. However, studies show that these effects can backfire. For example, soy isoflavones can interfere with thyroid function. In people with thyroid problems, like hypothyroidism, consuming large amounts of soy can worsen the condition. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism revealed that soy isoflavones can increase the need for thyroid hormone in people with subclinical hypothyroidism. Additionally, there are concerns about the hormonal effects of soy supplements. In some people, especially those with a history of hormone-sensitive cancers, like breast cancer, phytoestrogens can potentially stimulate the growth of cancer cells. Although this link is not completely clear, it is a risk worth considering. Another important point is that many soy supplements are highly processed and can contain unhealthy additives and preservatives. Soy itself can be a good addition to the diet when consumed in less processed forms, like tofu, tempeh, and edamame, but supplements may not offer the same benefits. For those seeking the benefits of soy isoflavones without the potential risks, a safer approach may be to increase the intake of soy foods in their natural form. This can provide the benefits of phytoestrogens while minimizing the risks associated with processed supplements. So, before adding soy supplements to your routine, talk to your doctor and consider whether the benefits really outweigh the risks. Soy can be an ally for health, but it should be consumed with moderation and care. Now, let's talk about copper. Yes, that metal you probably think is just in wires and coins is also present in many supplements. Copper is an essential mineral, but in excess, it can be extremely harmful, especially for those over 50. First, let's understand why copper is important. It is crucial for the formation of red blood cells, the maintenance of nerve cells, and the strengthening of the immune system. However, excess copper can lead to toxicity, accumulating in the liver and brain, which can cause serious health problems. A study published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease found a link between high levels of copper in the body and an increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. This is because excess copper can promote the formation of beta amyloid plaques in the brain, which are associated with Alzheimer's disease. Moreover, excess copper can cause gastrointestinal disturbances like nausea, vomiting, and stomach pain. In severe cases, it can lead to liver damage and even liver failure. The National Institutes of Health recommends that adults over 50 consume about 900 micrograms of copper per day, and most people get this amount through their diet without the need for supplements. Another concern is that copper can interact with other minerals, like zinc. Excess copper can interfere with zinc absorption, which is essential for immune function and wound healing. Therefore, taking copper supplements unnecessarily can unbalance other important nutrients in your body. If you're concerned about your copper levels, the best approach is through a balanced diet that includes copper-rich foods like nuts, seeds, seafood, and whole grains. These foods provide copper in a form that is easier for the body to regulate and use effectively. So, the moral of the story here is, be careful with copper supplements. While copper is essential, more is not always better. Finally, let's talk about isolated vitamins, especially vitamin E. Many people take vitamin supplements hoping to improve their health, but is it really necessary? And could it be dangerous? Let's find out. Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant that helps protect cells from damage caused by free radicals. However, studies show that taking high doses of vitamin E in supplement form can increase the risk of certain health problems instead of preventing them. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that men who took high doses of vitamin E had a higher risk of developing prostate cancer. Moreover, another study published in the Archives of Internal Medicine found a link between the use of vitamin E supplements and an increased risk of heart failure. This is because very high doses of antioxidants can interfere with the body's natural processes, leading to adverse effects. Another concern with isolated vitamins is that they can create an imbalance in the body. Vitamins work in synergy, which means that taking one in excess can affect the absorption and function of others. For example, high doses of vitamin E can interfere with blood clotting, especially if you are taking blood thinners. Instead of relying on supplements, a better approach is to get your vitamins from food. Foods rich in vitamin E, such as almonds, sunflower seeds, and spinach, provide the vitamin in a form that is easier for the body to use in a balanced way. Additionally, these foods offer a variety of other nutrients that work together to support overall health. So, the lesson here is, less is more when it comes to isolated vitamins. Supplementation can be useful in some cases, but it should be done carefully and under medical supervision. The best approach is always to try to get your nutrients from a balanced and varied diet. So, before grabbing that bottle of vitamins at the pharmacy, think twice. Your health might benefit more from a colorful and nutritious plate than from an isolated pill. Staying healthy after 50 doesn't have to be complicated. Avoiding unnecessary supplements like calcium, iron, soy, copper, and isolated vitamins can protect your health from serious issues. Prioritize a balanced diet and always consult a doctor before starting any supplement. Remember, less is often more when it comes to health. If you find this content valuable, consider making a donation. Every bit helps cover costs and continue bringing more videos. The link is in the description. Thanks to the members who have already donated. I'll leave a recommended video that will complement what we've discussed here. I am Dr. Vitality, and remember, health comes first.